Hello. Today we're going to talk about the ethical implementation of AI. So the first question we ask ourselves is why is it even important for it to be ethical? And we came up with two reasons. One, it is to protect privacy, and the second is a bit more complex, but without transparency, without accountability, and with algorithm bias, we're going to run into type 1 and type 2 error, where either the cost of the treatment didn't have to be as costly as the AI predicted, or which is worse, the worst thing to happen is that the AI recommended a cheaper treatment and actually made the patient have a worse condition. So let's introduce the team. I'm Gabriel.
I'm Hanru.
I'm June.
Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but I'll give it up to Hanru.
Yeah. So the first topic we'll talk about is data privacy, and we'll go first go over some of the challenges. Some of the challenges you may face when implementing AI into a healthcare system is sensitive data, informed client consent, and collaboration between IT and healthcare providers, and the cost of the resources. Healthcare systems may often experience breaches, and with the ever-evolving AI, it is harder to prevent cyber attacks. And even the most secure systems may have vulnerabilities. And many patients may also struggle to fully understand how AI algorithms work and use their data. And even with plain language, the technical complexities of machine learning, processing, and potential risks may not be fully comprehended by them. So ensuring that patients fully understand their decisions is remains a challenge. And it also is a challenge that IT experts and healthcare professionals work together to make sure that the system is optimal and do not introduce vulnerabilities. And developing and implementing and maintaining the system may also cost a lot of resources, as you would need to constantly update the system. Now we'll get into some of the opportunities in implementing AI in healthcare. For first opportunity is that it's a trust building opportunity. And when patients trust that the data will be handled securely and ethically, they may be more willing to share their health information. And it's also a great place to get research data, as medicists can sell data anonymously and use de-identification tools to hospitals, clinics, and research institutions that need to use patient data for AI training or research while maintaining their privacy. And now I'll talk about some recommendations. And some recommendations will be advanced data privacy. So medicists should use different privacy techniques to protect individual patient data while allowing the AI algorithms to analyze the data sets. And the real-time consent updates will give the patients an option to update their consent in real time. Whereas new AI applications are introduced, this system can help notify the patient when a new AI application would benefit from their data and allowing them to opt in or cancel dynamically. And the identification tools and implementing them will also strip the personally identifiable information from health data before it's used for AI training, and this should remove the patient's names, addresses, and other sensitive and identifiers. And now I'll let June take over.
All right, so I'll be talking about the biases on algorithmic biases. So ways of prevention would be to having our adaptive features through our AI. So allow us to like individuals to like insecure more efficiently in some sense, and notifying of major data set differences, like comparing like how much amount of like information on one particular group of people compared to like another due to like certain circumstances in this society, and also creation of multiple systems in which it will allow us to like be able to implement it to certain groups so that there is no biases within them. And then but though this may be very effective, very costly, but it would eliminate algorithmic biases.
All right, now let's talk about transparency and accountability. So my plan for having the data for the AI to be transparent is that we create a separate summaries for patient and medical professions, because for medical professions, they're gonna have terms that they can only understand. And for patients, it's about simple understanding. And so when we create a flow chart and interactive dashboard, it is also very beneficial to the the patients because they want to feel a sense of control, right? When you can choose your own treatment based on the recommended AI treatments, you feel a sense of control and it actually makes them better in terms of the placebo effect. And last thing is we want to document all the data sets and algorithms so that we keep a history so that whenever there's an error, we can kind of go back. And talking about accountability, I split it into compliance and audit. And so for compliance is about having legal consequences. And the first one is definitely having a liability framework where either the AI company or the programmers have done something wrong and they must feel the pressure to make it so that it is as perfect as it can. And just creating a legal binding ethical code of conduct is what I believe to be the best in terms of like if a code of conduct is not legally binding, then nobody would follow it, right? And in terms of auditing, internal audit, the programmers need to track how the treatments are performing. So like usually I'm thinking of like statistics. So maybe like 90% of the time it's giving the best recommendation. And there's also like bias detection, there's feedback mechanism that I think the AI can run on itself. And the last one is version control and updates. You know, software programs is constantly having updates. So to kind of see which version it has giving the best result is also important. So now to conclude, so we believe that part, even though we're talking about implementation of AI being ethical, how doctors are using it is also part of whether it can be ethical or not. So at the end of the day, AI is a tool and the doctors have a final say. And if the doctors have a confirmation about what they're seeing, they tend to seek out or evaluate information that support their pre-existing belief. So that in turn basically make the AI worthless. And going back to the idea of type 1 and type 2 error, say like if AI recommends a cheaper treatment that is 80% effective or like 80% chance of success, does the doctor still recommend it because there's still that 20% of risk? And the other side of the argument is then if the doctor choose the expensive treatment, then right, the burden will be on the patient, right? They got to pay a lot more later, which can even as goes to like destroy their life. So going back to a lighter tone, I believe that AI will still be the future of medical treatment, just because of the fact that right now, at least in the US, or even in parts of the world, there's always a need for doctors and having AI as a tool to filter things, you know, like say even my mom had cancer and it took a long time to decide which treatment to do. And some people may be on the verge of death. So it's important that we have something that is efficient and it can also drive down the cost, which in turn can be an incentive for the patient. Thank you.